The Galactic Senate Chamber, a grand and ancient hall orbiting the neutral moon of Virex, buzzed with the quiet arrogance of 1,000 species. Ornate robes rustled, bioluminescent tendrils twitched, and neural uplinks glowed as delegates murmured and conferred in layered dialects. At the center, under a spotlight of judgment, stood one solitary figure, Ambassador Ryvan Elric of Earth. He didn't wear the shimmering garb of prestige. He wore a simple black uniform lined with silver thread and a badge etched with Earth's sigil, a stylized phoenix rising from a broken chain. Riven's voice cut through the cacophony like a blade. "You have mocked our scientists, restricted our colonies, denied our proposals in this very chamber for over a century. You claimed it was to maintain stability." He glanced around at the alien dignitaries. "Let me translate that. You feared us, so you kept us small." The senator, from the Uranth Combine, clicked its mandibles disdainfully. "Earth is an emotional species. You surge and flare. You are unpredictable, dangerous when unsupervised." Ryvan didn't flinch. "Dangerous? You don't know the meaning of the word. Not yet." He activated a small holopad. Images flickered. Into the air, Earth's history, Hiroshima, the Cold War, global conflicts, space race breakthroughs. Then, silence. The feed shifted to the last 70 years. Peace treaties, technological humility, a deliberate withdrawal from intergalactic arms races. Earth had seemingly matured. But now Ryvan pulled the curtain back. "You thought we softened. That, we learned to behave. No, we restrained ourselves, we held back for the sake of peace." There was a pause, the chamber deathly still. Ryvan leaned forward, voice low but resonant. "That restraint ends today." The chamber exploded in outrage. Dozens of alien voices roared, barked, or clicked in protest. But Ryvan didn't wait for permission. He turned and walked away, his last words echoing behind him. "Prepare yourselves. We will no longer play the part you wrote for us." Outside the chamber, hidden from view, Admiral Sarah Voss watched the broadcast from Earth's Black Ops Command, vessel Oblivion's Edge cloaked just beyond the Virex system. Around her, commanders and AI tacticians reviewed interstellar maps. Red markers blinked on dozens of worlds. She turned to her crew. "The vote failed. They laughed at our final warning." A second in command, a grizzled vet from Mars, raised an eyebrow. "So what now?" Syra tapped the console. "Phase 1. We begin with Velkar Prime. Burn the symbols, leave the civilians, break the illusion." The crew stiffened to attention. Meanwhile, across the galaxy, alien intelligence agencies dismissed Earth's threat as empty theatrics. One Korthari analyst summarized it in a report. "The humans are emotional. Their ambassador overreached. As always, they lack the spine for true war." But deep beneath Earth's crust, in bunkers sealed for decades, Project Umbra came online. Stealthed ships lifted from the Pacific depths. AI sleeper programs awakened in galactic mainframes. On Earth, an ancient bell rang in the United Nations. War Council chamber, a bell that had not tolled since first contact. Humanity wasn't bluffing. They had warned the galaxy, and now they were done being nice. The galaxy was unprepared. No one expected Earth to strike first, and certainly not so soon after Ambassador Ryvan Elric's brazen warning in the Galactic Senate. The words still echoed in the minds of alien leaders, but their arrogance had blinded them to the possibility that humanity's threat was real. They believed Earth was all talk, fueled by emotional bravado just as they always had. But in the silent void of space, something deadly and precise had already been set in motion, orbiting Velkar Prime, a heavily fortified world and the capital of the Trade Dominion, a coalition responsible for embargoes and economic suppression against Earth and its allies. The stars suddenly flared with silent explosions. The entire planet's defense grid, a complex array of orbital weapons platforms, energy shields, and drone swarms, collapsed within minutes. No warning shots, no negotiations, no surrender offered. From the shadows of deep space, Earth's stealth fleet had arrived. Commanded by Admiral Sarah Voss, the Oblivion's Edge and its accompanying squadrons had exploited a rare alignment of Velkar Prime's sensor blind spots and the trade dominion's overconfidence. We hit their weakest nodes simultaneously, Sarah reported to her fleet commanders over a secure channel. Electronic warfare units took down communication arrays, precision strikes disabled power conduits, drone swarms neutralized orbital interceptors. It was surgical. It was perfect. Within 10 minutes, Velkar Prime was defenseless. Yet rather than send troops to occupy or loot, the fleet left a single message. A scar burned into the surface of the planet's largest desert basin. It was vast enough to be seen from orbit. And beyond. First of 6. You were warned. The message sent a shockwave through the galaxy, turning disbelief into panic. Trade Dominion officials scrambled to assess the damage while intelligence officers urgently reported sightings of stealth fleets disappearing into hyperspace before reinforcements could arrive. On Velkar Prime, civilians watched the glowing scar etch itself into the landscape, a terrifying symbol of Earth's reach and precision. The Trade Dominion's propaganda machines failed to quell the fear that spread like wildfire. Back aboard Oblivion's Edge, Admiral Sira's eyes gleamed with a cold satisfaction. They needed a reminder that we aren't just a planet to bully, she said quietly. We were silent for too long. Now they know the cost of ignoring us. In the Galactic Senate, the reaction was swift and chaotic. Some members demanded immediate retaliation, accusing Earth of breaking diplomatic accords and declaring an act of war. Others, more cautious, urged calm, arguing that Earth's strike was a message, a warning to be taken seriously. But deep down, even the most skeptical senators understood something fundamental had changed. Earth had demonstrated capabilities and resolve that no one had anticipated. The age of underestimating humanity was over. Meanwhile, on Earth, celebrations were muted but determined. In underground war rooms, strategists worked tirelessly, preparing for the inevitable pushback from the galaxy's powers. Scientists reviewed damage assessments, engineers prepared new weapon systems, and intelligence agents monitored alien communications for signs of retaliation. Admiral Sira convened her command team. Velkar Prime was just the beginning. The galaxy has grown complacent, believing they control the board, but we hold the pieces now. As the shadows of war lengthened, one truth became clear. Earth was no longer the galaxy's underdog. The first strike had shattered the illusion of human weakness and announced the dawn of a new era. The question was no longer if humanity would fight back, but how far they would go to claim their rightful place among the stars. And with 5 more strikes promised, the galaxy braced itself for the storm to come. After the devastating strike on Velkar Prime, the galaxy reeled, not just from the shock of Earth's sudden military power, but from the mystery of what came next. Unlike any conventional war the galaxy had ever seen, Earth didn't rush to conquer or occupy. Instead, it waged a silent war, striking from the shadows where no one could easily retaliate. This was Project Umbra in full motion, a covert operation decades in the making, orchestrated by Earth's finest minds and operatives embedded deep within alien systems. While the Trade Dominion and other powers scrambled to rebuild Velkar Prime's defenses, hidden human agents slipped past their sensors to infiltrate galactic communication networks, government databases, and military command centers. Their weapons were not fleets or bombs this time, but viruses and whispers, digital ghosts capable of bringing entire planets to their knees without firing a single shot. The first major blow came through the Carthax energy ring, a vast, ancient structure orbiting a cluster of star systems that supplied power to hundreds of worlds. Overnight, the ring's core reactor suffered a cascade failure, plunging entire star systems into darkness and chaos. The galactic powers struggled to find a cause, but their sensors were scrambled, their data corrupted. They only saw a phantom. Attacker. Simultaneously, Whisper, a sophisticated AI created by Earth and smuggled into galactic networks years ago, activated its sleeper code. Whisper was a digital saboteur, capable of infiltrating alien war machines and turning them against their own commanders. Within days, entire fleets experienced mysterious malfunctions, some even firing on their allies. Paranoia gripped the military, leadership across multiple species. The silent war shattered the illusion of control the galactic empires held over their domains. No longer could they trust their technology, their fleets, or even their most loyal officers. Among the shadows of this cyber chaos, Earth's ground operatives worked relentlessly. Agents coordinated uprisings on oppressed worlds, distributing weapons and intelligence to rebel factions previously crushed under alien rule. Species long enslaved or exploited, the Shiarni, the Mulvar, and others, found new hope as Earth's covert support rekindled their fight for freedom. Back on Oblivion's edge, Admiral Syravos monitored the unfolding chaos with grim satisfaction. "This is war without borders," she told her team. "We don't need to hold territory if we can break their will from within." But Earth's strategy was not only to weaken the enemy, it was also to avoid becoming the very oppressors they fought against. Cyber attacks targeted military assets and infrastructure, but spared civilian centers, leaving a clear message. Earth sought justice, not destruction. Alien leaders were caught in a desperate scramble. Some attempted to trace the source of the attacks, only to find themselves thwarted by layers of human-built encryption and ghost programs. Others called for brutal crackdowns on their populations, sowing unrest and further destabilizing their empires. In the Galactic Senate, debate raged. How could one planet, long marginalized and dismissed, now command such power? Could the humans be stopped before the galaxy plunged into irreversible chaos? Unbeknownst to the galaxy, Earth's silent war was only the prelude. Each strike had been carefully designed to dismantle the pillars of alien power without triggering full-scale annihilation. Yet, Admiral Sira's voice cut through the tension in the command room. "We're forcing their hand. The galaxy will learn that the humans aren't just survivors, they're architects of a new order." And in the deep recesses of space where no alien sensors could reach, Earth's war machines hummed quietly, waiting for the next command. The silent war had begun. The galaxy would never hear it coming. The galaxy's powers finally acknowledged. The threat was real. Earth's silent strikes and precision sabotage had shattered their confidence and sowed chaos across star systems. Desperation fueled a bold and dangerous decision. The Galactic Senate authorized a full-scale invasion of Sol, Earth's home system. A massive armada assembled, hundreds of warships from every major faction, their crews eager to crush what they still believed was a rebellious but inferior planet. They called it the Final Purge, convinced that overwhelming firepower would end Earth's defiance once and for all. But Earth was ready. As the alien fleets poured into Sol space, they were met not with open battle lines, but with a ghostly void. Fleets vanished. Radar scans found nothing. Communication was lost. Ships that entered Earth's system never transmitted again. Panic rippled through the invading forces. Commanders ordered retreats only to find their ships disabled or destroyed by unseen forces. Hyperspace lanes folded, navigation systems scrambled. Earth had turned its home into an impenetrable fortress. This was the true revelation. Sol was no ordinary star system. It was an engineered bastion, layered with technologies hidden from galactic eyes. Orbital stations cloaked by advanced stealth fields hummed silently in shadow. Kinetic kill satellites poised to shred enemy warships floated in the dark. Wormhole disruptors created hazardous zones, trapping alien fleets in deadly loops or forcing them into blind jumps into uncharted space. Admiral Syravos, commanding from the heart of Oblivion's edge, coordinated the defense with ruthless precision. "They brought the war to our doorstep," she said. "We will make this their last mistake." Alien commanders, trapped and disoriented, scrambled to organize their fleets for survival. But Earth's layered defenses were overwhelming. In less than a week, 5 alien armadas were obliterated or rendered permanently incapacitated. The news stunned the galaxy. Even the most hardened skeptics had to admit Earth was a tactical genius and a formidable power. Within Sol's orbit, Riven Elric once again addressed the galaxy, not as an ambassador begging for peace, but as a warlord declaring a new era. "The invasion was folly," Riven broadcast across galactic networks. "You sought to end us with fleets. Instead, you lost your fleets and your illusions. Earth stands unbroken. This is not a plea for peace, it is a declaration of war. His words were calm, chilling, and final. The Galactic Senate fractured. Some members called for immediate ceasefire talks, while others called for harsher reprisals, military escalation, or even annihilation. But Earth had seized the momentum, forcing the galaxy to play on its terms. Meanwhile, hidden within Sol, Earth's scientists and engineers worked feverishly to enhance their defenses and prepare new offensive strategies. Their true power was yet to be revealed. Even as fleets fell, Earth's war planners reminded each other this was just the beginning. Admiral Sira stood before her commanders. They have seen what we can do when cornered. Now we will show them what happens when we decide to strike. The galaxy had provoked Earth, and Earth's response was not merely defense, it was a promise of relentless retaliation. The invasion attempt, meant to break humanity, instead triggered its full unleashing. And from the shadows of Sol's fortified system, Earth's true war engines began to awaken, poised to redefine the balance of power across the stars. The age of complacency in the galaxy was over. Humanity was no longer holding back. The failed invasion of Sol had sent a clear message. Earth was no longer vulnerable. The Galactic Senate's bravado shattered, and a new, harsher reality set in. But for humanity, the battle was far from over. It was only beginning. In the aftermath, Earth transitioned from defense to offense with ruthless efficiency. The galaxy's largest powers were reeling, their fleets shattered or crippled. Supply lines severed, communications jammed. Worlds once loyal to the Trade Dominion or the Galactic Coalition began to question their allegiances. Admiral Syra Voss was the architect of this new phase, her cold, strategic mind orchestrating simultaneous strikes on multiple fronts. We must hit them where it hurts the most, she told her commanders. No mercy, no hesitation. The first target was Karath Prime, the logistical hub for the Coalition's military forces. Located at a nexus of hyperspace lanes, Karath Prime was vital for moving troops and supplies across thousands of star systems. Earth's stealth bombers slipped through the shadows, disabling orbital shipyards and crippling repair docks. Without repair facilities, the Coalition's damaged ships would rot in space or be forced to retreat. Next came Veshka, a planet famed for its energy crystal mines powering the Dominion's war machines. Earth's commandos launched covert raids, destroying mines and disrupting production. The sudden energy shortages spread confusion and frustration among enemy ranks. Yet humanity's most devastating weapon was not technology. It was psychological warfare. Earth broadcasted detailed footage of its previous strikes, exposing the extent of damage and vulnerability of alien empires. Propaganda mixed with undeniable proof of human military prowess shattered decades of alien myths about Earth's supposed weakness. Across the galaxy, dissidents and oppressed peoples saw hope for the first time. The Shiarni rebels on Outer Rim colonies rose in violent rebellion, fueled by Earth's support. The Molvar slave worlds began organized strikes against their overlords. Old alliances crumbled under the weight of mounting fear. Meanwhile, Earth's scientific community accelerated experimental weapon projects, particle disruptors capable of tearing apart starships at the molecular level, autonomous drone swarms with adaptive AI that could outthink enemy tactics, energy shields powered by quantum fields, impervious to conventional attacks. But even with all this power, humanity maintained a clear code. They fought to dismantle tyranny, not annihilate entire species. Civilians were spared whenever possible, and rebel factions were given resources to reclaim their freedom. Galactic leaders scrambled to respond, desperately attempting countermeasures. Secret meetings convened to broker ceasefires, but Earth's terms were harsh. No more suppression of human colonies, withdrawal of hostile fleets, reparations for damages done. Most alien rulers rejected these demands outright. On Earth's flagship bridge, Admiral Sira stood over the tactical table, eyes sharp and focused. "We are not here to negotiate weakness," she said firmly. "We are here to reset the galaxy's balance." As Earth's war engines thundered forward, one undeniable truth crystallized. Humanity had become the galaxy's reckoning. They were no longer the underdog or the suppressed. They were the force shaping the future. And with 5 strikes behind them and their momentum building, the galaxy's greatest powers faced an impossible choice: surrender and adapt, or be swept away in the tide of payback. Earth's time of holding back was over. The reckoning had begun. After years of covert strikes, relentless sabotage, and bold battles, the final chapter in Earth's campaign for galactic respect was at hand. The galaxy's powers were battered, fractured, and desperate. They had ignored Earth's warnings, underestimated human resilience, and now faced a force that refused to back down. The final phase of humanity's payback was not just about military might. It was about reshaping the very order of the galaxy. Admiral Sira Voss convened a council aboard the flagship Oblivion's Edge. Representatives from Earth's United Defense Coalition and allied species gathered, aware that what they were about to do would change history. "We have one chance," Sira began. "One final strike that will force the galaxy to accept us, not as rebels, but as equals." The target was the Galactic core nexus, the seat of power for the dominant empires, the heart of the political, economic, and military network that controlled thousands of star systems. It was heavily fortified, guarded by massive fleets, impenetrable, defense grids, and layers of diplomatic barriers. But Earth's intelligence had uncovered weaknesses, cracks in alliances, overextended supply routes, and internal dissent ripe for exploitation. The assault began with unprecedented coordination. Human cyber operatives unleashed a digital storm, crippling the Nexus's command infrastructure. Simultaneously, stealth fleets penetrated the defense rings, striking key installations with precision. Advanced drones swarmed, disabling enemy warships without bloodshed whenever possible. But this time, Earth's forces didn't merely destroy, they liberated. Across the core nexus, suppressed worlds rose up. Human-backed rebels and dissidents seized control of vital facilities, breaking centuries-old chains of oppression. Entire planetary governments collapsed, replaced by coalitions that welcomed Earth's alliance. In the Galactic Senate, the shock was absolute. Leaders who once dismissed Earth as a backwater planet now scrambled to negotiate. But the terms were clear and uncompromising: respect, recognition, and a seat at the galactic table. Riven Elric addressed the assembly for the last time, not with threats, but with a declaration of a new era. Humanity does not seek conquest, but coexistence. We fought because we were forced to. Now we stand ready to build a future together, one where no species is underestimated and no voice is silenced. The galaxy's response was mixed. Some embraced the change, eager to move forward. Others retreated into isolation or resistance, unwilling to accept the shift. Earth, however, remained vigilant. The lessons of war were etched into its people's minds. Peace was hard won, and must be fiercely protected. Admiral Sira looked out over the stars from Oblivion's Edge, knowing the journey was far from over. "We've broken their illusions," she said softly. "Now, we build something stronger." Humanity's rise was no longer about payback or survival. It was about leadership, responsibility, and hope. The galaxy had been warned. Earth had unleashed its true power, and in doing so it had rewritten the rules of the cosmos. The age of humans had begun.